Hello everyone, welcome. In this today's session we are going to discuss Potter's scene. This is third scene of the second act, which is also popularly called the Potter's scene. In the previous scene, audience have seen that at the south gate there was a knocking which was heard by both Lady Macbeth and Macbeth, and now they have retired to their bed chambers. They are changing their clothes, and Macbeth has already killed King Duncan, and now we will see its consequences. So stay with me till the end of this video so that you can know everything. And this scene is very important. This Potter scene is very important, and it is also favorite for the question paper setters as well. So we will see the significance of the Potter scene. We know that there was a grand party thrown when King Duncan was invited to the Macbeth castle, and naturally, all the servants, all the porters were well fed, and they drunk. They were heavily drunk because of the grand dinner they had and previous session of drinking session of the previous night. So we will see here a porter, just like a doorman. He's a doorman of the Macbeth castle, and he is responding to the knocking at the door in a very unique way. He is not responding very simply, but is in a unique way. He is not going straight away and opening the door, and he is hallucinating things. He is hallucinating like Macbeth was hallucinating of dagger. So in the same way, this drunken porter is behaving, and he is imagining that he is not a doorman of Macbeth castle. Instead, he is a doorman of Hellgate, and he imagines that one by one people are trying to enter this hell, and he talks about their sins, what sins they have committed and what was their life. He's heavily drunk here, and so he's in a, we I will try to imitate some drunken speeches of Porter. Here is a knocking indeed. If a man were a porter of a hell gate, he should have all turning the keys. So, Porter here is saying someone is surely knocking. If a man were to serve as a porter to Hellgate, he would have plenty of this key turning work. So, if a man is supposed to do working on the gateman of the hell, he has to let in people all the time because we have more sinners than the sin. There is a large amount of these sinners than the sin itself, and so more people who are coming as a sinners, they are taking entry, they are dying, and they are being sinners, and they go to hell, and this hell gets doorman job is very tough. So the gateman of the hell is complaining about this. He is telling, knock knock, knock knock, who is there in the name of Beelzebub? Now Beelzebub is the name of devil. Some call that it is as Satan is also referred as a Beelzebub. Some people say that Satan closest friend is Beelzebub. So there are so many stories. Then he is telling who is knocking at the door in the name of devil. In any way, Porter is swearing by the name of Beelzebub, by the name of the devil, because he is now in hell, and he is going to swear in the name of devil only, not in the name of God. So in this way, he is swearing and he is complaining, and he is full drunk. Now, and then he hallucinates that a person who is entering his imaginary hell is a sinful farmer, a farmer who has committed a grave sin. Now, why this farmer is a sinner? Let's find out this thing. He is a Potter is saying he is a farmer. He is a farmer who hanged on the expectation of plenty. So he is a farmer who committed sin, and now what happened? He's committed suicide because of financial failure. He had some grave financial failure, so he hanged himself. Come in, you opportunist. So this farmer who has come to the hell gate now has hanged himself. And why did he hang himself? Because that farmer was very very greedy. And how we can say that he was greedy? He wanted to get more and more profit from his crop, and so he hoarded them, he collected them, so that he can sell them when particular opportunity will come, when prices will be highest. That that day, that year, what happened? Everybody's harvest was very plenty and more. So that farmer had a great loss, and he could not earn any out of his crop. So he became so depressed and frustrated that he committed suicide by hanging himself, and therefore he is a sinner here because of his intense greed, and now he is entering hell as a sinner. Again, Potter is saying, come in time, have napkins about you, here is you will sweat for it. Come in, you opportunist. The farmer that Porter is now telling, you should have plenty of handkerchiefs with you, for you will need them to wipe sweats. This because this hell is burning hell. In this phrase, also we can get two meanings. Hell is a fiery place. It's supposed to be fiery place. It is considered to be the super hot, and so this farmer is going to sweat a lot because of this intense heat. And second meaning is that all his life farmer wanted to become rich without sweating for it, without working hard for it, but in the hell he had to survive by suffering and nothing else. Again, knocking at the gate, Porter is saying, knock knock, knock knock. Who is there in the other devil's name? That Porter is so drunk, so out of mind that he even don't remember the name of devil now. Faith here is equivocator. Who is equivocator now? Equivocator are usually lawyers, or you can liars, who cheat people, or any other people who have ability to double talk. They can justify anything. They can speak in ambiguous manner. They don't care for the reality or the truth. They double talk. Now Porter is saying, here is an equivocator that could swear in both the scales. Now Porter here referring to the scale of justice. We all know that justice is personified. It is considered as a lady whose eyes are folded with black cloth, just we see in the courtroom, and she is holding a scale or a balance in her hands, so that equivocator can convince people, and can make arguments, speak on behalf of this argument or the other, without caring for the truth. His job is just to convince people. Now Porter is saying, who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet couldn't equivocate to heaven, O common equivocator. So, this Porter is telling that, uh, but when it came to face judgment, he has all his life he has deceived people. But when came to face judgment, real judgment after his death, this equivocator could not convince God that he deserved place in heaven and not in hell. So this is a very ironical situation. And there is again knocking, knock knock. Who is there? Knock knock. Who is there? Porter is telling that now this Porter is very tired. Why? because there is a continuous knocking at the hell gate. And simply why there is a knocking? Because Porter is not opening the door at all. He's just imagining. This continuous knocking is real. Everything else is imagination of drunken Porter. His hallucinations. He is just hallucinating, and he is not opening the door. And at the door there is a Macduff and Lennox, who are continuously knocking to get entry into the Macbeth castle. They have come to bring back King Duncan to his royal palace. Now that drunken Porter is saying, Faith, here is an English come hither for stealing out of a French hose. So there is a tailor now. Now this French hose is what this is French hose. French hose is a kind of a trouser which is very tight fitting. Is a bit tight fitting cloth trouser where tailor need to use very less cloth, but they used to charge for the more cloth. So they steal cloth, and they steal surplus cloth also. So in this way they cheated their customers when they are making French hose, and so Taylor has come to hell because of this sin. Now Porter is saying, Come in, Taylor, here you may roast your goose. Goose. What is goose? Goose is a kind of smoothing iron which Taylor uses to smoothen out the cloth. And since hell is supposed to be full of fire, and he will face no problem, the tailor will face no problem in heating his iron. His smoothing iron will be perfect condition. Now again Porter is saying, knock knock, never a quiet, where are you? Now Porter is so tired and so drunk that he is running out of his imagination. But this place is too man, he is talking anything, but this place is too cold for hell, he is thinking. Now this Porter is suddenly realizing that this place cannot be hell, because this place is too cold and not hot as it is considered to be. So he is thinking about that. This place is too cold for hell, and I will devil Porter in no further. Inverness is name of the Macbeth castle, and the Inferno means hell. So there is a quite similarity between them, Inferno and Inverness. So there is no surprise that there is a porter of Macbeth castle is imagining himself that he is a porter of a Hellgate, because Inverness or a Macbeth castle has become a second hell, especially because the devilish act of the Macbeth and his wife. They are behaving like a devils only, and they have made their castle a hell, second hell. Now, why this Potter scene is required in this play? It provide a pause. It provide a comic relief from the otherwise very grim atmosphere of the tragedy Macbeth, so audience can relax for some time. If you are watching a theatrical performance and this drunken porter enters the play and he plays his part, this whole scene creates a comic effect. His very appearance is very comical, and he is a kind of a joker which relaxes mind of readers, and we relax for some time. So we need this comic relief, audience need this comic relief in tragedy. So on the previous scene, Lady Macbeth had asked her husband to go to his bedchamber and wear his nightgown. So when audience will see them in next scene, they will be wearing their nightgown and not their formal wear, because their clothes are definitely have blood stains on them because they killed King Duncan. So therefore some time is needed so that Macbeth and Lady Macbeth could at least change their costumes. Now William Shakespeare, who has written this drama Macbeth had not written it to publish as a book form, in the book form, but he has written to produce as a drama, to or to produce as a stage performance. So he kept in mind this little things which may be not very important for us, but it is important for drama performance. So the episode of Porter give chance to Macbeth and his wife a chance to change their costumes and look fresh, so that when next time they would appear on the stage, people will not be suspicious of them. People will think that they have not committed any crime, and even Macduff and Lennox will also not think so. So, in this way, many critics of Shakespeare, especially S.T. Coleridge, had said that this Porter scene is not written by William Shakespeare. So other people have added it, and other people has written it, especially to appease mob, and to bring sensationalism to this play, so that that groundling people can enjoy the play very much. But when we are reading this play, Macbeth, and we have this Porter episode, so we should take it as a part of the play and should not think that it is not part of the play. Moreover, when you will carefully examine what Porter is saying, he is not saying anything which is irrelevant, or anything which is not related to play. Now, Porter says, "This place is too cold for hell. I will devil Porter it no further. I had thought to have let in some of all professions." Here, Porter is saying that he has given entry to farmer, then equivocator, then tailor, people from various field, various class, and various professions. Porter says, "That goes the primrose way to the everlasting bonfire." Now, primrose way means life without any difficulties, any problem, a flower striven path of life, a very comfortable life. But that kind of life will lead anyone to hell, which is called everlasting bonfire. It is considered that in the hell there is continuous fire is there, because bonfire is there, bones are burning. Means we can be from any profession, any class. We can be doing anything for living, our anything can be our occupation, but we can always go to hell, we can always become a sinner if we selfishly think about only ourselves, and we will think about our interest only, and only think about our own benefits and comforts, and try to make our life full of comfort and other life miserable. This is philosophy of this play. We cannot grow on the cost of others. Macbeth wanted more and more. He was warrior, but later on he became a greedy person. So he was like that farmer. He was so greedy that he killed that his king Duncan, who was not just his king but his relative also, his cousin also. Macbeth wanted more than he deserved. So one day, fate of Macbeth will be same like the fate of farmer. This prophecy is being done by Porter. Now let's talk about another sinner, equivocator, second sinner. Sin of this, sin of this. What? Sin of this equivocator is double talking, deceiving. He is a deceiver. We know how Lady Macbeth has told Macbeth to look like an innocent flower, but be the serpent underneath. We have seen how both of them has spoken with King Duncan and used dubious words with double meanings, words with double meanings. Duncan felt that these words were very nice words, welcoming words, comforting words, but audience very well know that these words were deceiving words, and this had double meaning and different meaning at all. So Lady Macbeth and Macbeth are equivocating. They are the equivocators. So they also deserve that kind of hell this equivocator is deserving. Means Lady Macbeth and Macbeth deserves a very torturous hell. Now coming to the English tailor uh, has stolen French hose, French trousers, and cheated his customers in a way. In the same way, Macbeth has stolen a rightful ruler, King Duncan, from the innocent people of Scotland. He even stolen his peace of mind, even his own sleep and Lady Macbeth's sleep. So he is a complete thief, a stealer, we can say. So we can conclude that through the examples of these petty sinners, their sins are very petty in compared with comparison with the Macbeth. Porter is actually talking about fate of Macbeth, sin of Macbeth, and Lady Macbeth. Macbeth is a play of prophecies, but when we speak about prophecies in Macbeth, we just think about the prophecies of witches. But here we can see a very, very humble porter who is very from lower class of life and who is a drunkard also. He is in out of mind also. And this porter is making far more meaningful sentences, prophecies, with potent prophecies than witches about the fate of Macbeth. Macbeth is walking a primrose path of life only to reach everlasting bonfire, and this episode can be written only by William Shakespeare and nobody else because it has so much meaning and it is very meaningful. So last porter opens the gate and there enters Macduff and Lennox and they ask him why it to take him so long to open the door, and that porter says that it took him so long because I was drunk and I was not able to go to the door to open it. Thank you so much. Please like, share, subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.